Hi, this is Bright Advocate responding to Motherhood Chronicles video challenge, Theists, Deists, and Atheists Prove It, where apparently we're going to be looking at, some evidence on all different sides for why people look at the world the way they do. And to start with, I think that you are absolutely right to start with a position of agnosticism. Agnosticism is, I suppose, where I'm at on some levels as well. There are things that we have to be agnostic about. If somebody were to tell me that the world began 10 seconds ago, but it began in such a way with all the entire world and the physical laws and our memories and everything just so that no one could possibly know or prove that the world wasn't billions of years old, of course, I'd have to be agnostic about that. I'd have to be agnostic about that in the same way. I'd have to be agnostic about individual little spirits controlling each of the physical laws, making sure that they were never broken, but they could never be seen, never could be proven to exist. Of course, I'm agnostic about that. And to start with, I sort of started thinking about that in relation to religion, to a theistic point of view, and I realized that there were no important differences between those things, because when taken far enough back, historically, scientifically, sociologically, religion does not have any claims that are different than the claims that I just outlined. Things just have to be taken on faith or not taken at all. And so I think it's a great idea, your idea, to look at this as sort of a court of law. And I know you said that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I really think that is an effective way to look at it. A court of law is similar to scientific inquiry in that in both cases the burden of proof falls on those who are making the claims. In a court of law, you would see that those making the claims are the accusers, and in our court of law system, we have innocent until proven guilty, because anything else would be terrifying. Anybody could be accused. This is what we had in the witch hunts and in the Inquisition, and it was terrible. People who had done nothing wrong were being convicted, and of course, innocent until proven guilty is the effective way to look at it, in the same way that in scientific inquiry, the burden of the null hypothesis falls upon the person who makes the claim. The person who makes the claim has to demonstrate that the claim is accurate, can account for past data, and can predict future data, or else there's nothing there. Both these things work the same way. And as a questioning human being, somebody who is raised as a theist and just began coming into contact with all sorts of different worldviews in recent years, I had to think about these sorts of things as well, and it slowly began to occur to me that in a sort of court of law argument, the theistic side has nothing to offer. There was no evidence to offer. On the atheistic side, most atheists are willing to look at science to explain the world around them. I myself am a great proponent of science. We can see the psychology of other people, how they behave, why they behave, the evolutionary pressures on them to behave in that way. Biology, to look at biological evolution, can explain, and including abiogenesis, which is sort of a combination geology, chemistry, biology all together, but also a scientific field. To look at physics, geology, all these scientific fields can provide answers for where the universe came from, where we came from, and these answers not just account for the facts, but the theories that encompass them can predict future facts, which attest to their validity. There is no such validity at all in religion. Any claim that religion makes can either be made with more accuracy by science or isn't there at all. Religion provides no claims that can be tested or proven at all, and I was just sort of left empty by this, that so many people were just listening to their faith because they hadn't seen the facts. So many arguments take place over things that have already been straightened out by the scientific community. Intelligent design proponents, truly honest in what they are saying, simply don't know enough to say, they will say that the eye or the wing is irreducibly complex. And to say that is pure ignorance of the scientific field. Just to take a little curiosity and to go look at it will show that that's not true at all. The evolutionary design of both the eye and the wing are beautifully complex, of course, but they happen in completely scientifically plausible terms. It's a wonderful thing to look at the scientific study of these things, and for somebody to say that it couldn't have happened scientifically is, to me, willful ignorance. And maybe I'm just a curious person, but I want to know how things happen, and I don't want to just accept the easy, pat answer, well, it just is. I guess that's not enough for me. So you're right that there is no absolute truth. Atheism is not an absolute truth, but it does represent the world as it is. To ask anybody who is a part of a religion, there is a gradation, there is a scale, from the extremely secular, where they believe just as a matter of course, to the extremely fundamentalist, where their holy book is 100% true and accurate. And you will notice that along that grading scale, the more secular somebody is, the more attached they are to their culture and to scientific inquiry rather than to fundamentalism, the more that they will see the world as it actually is. Ask somebody who's on the fundamentalist scale of religion, who really, the true believers, what they think of the world and of how humanity got here, and you'll get a pretty skewed impression that can't be backed up by any evidence. It has to be taken entirely on faith, and I guess that's just not enough for me. You're right to say that there is no absolute truth, but we can see the world at least partially for how it is, and I'm not the kind of person who can accept willful ignorance for myself, and that's why I've taken the route I have. I just can't see any logic behind God other than the evolutionary pressures to create a God, which are certainly strong, they're certainly present. It's accounted for by cultural evolution, the need for a God, and I think we're beginning to move beyond that. So I'm really glad that somebody like yourself is asking this of all the YouTube theists and atheists and everybody else, the deists. I think this is a good idea. I hope you're getting something out of it. See you later.